The Druids of ancient Ireland are often romanticized as wise mystics, but their practices also had a far darker side. Let's uncover the brutal reality of Druidic sacrifices. The Druids acted as intermediaries between the gods and the people. To appease their deities, they performed animal and human sacrifices. Historical accounts, such as those by Roman writers, describe large wicker men filled with humans and set aflame as offerings. In Ireland, bog bodies such as Clonycavan Man and Old Crogan Man reveal evidence of ritual killings. These victims were often stabbed, strangled, and mutilated before being buried in bogs, possibly as part of fertility or territorial rites. Gap 3S. The Druids were not only religious leaders, but also held significant political and judicial power in Celtic society. They were advisors to kings and played a crucial role in the governance of their tribes. Their influence extended beyond religious rituals to include the administration of justice and the education of the young. Gap 2S. These enigmatic figures were the keepers of knowledge, passing down their wisdom through oral traditions. They were responsible for maintaining the laws, settling disputes, and ensuring the continuity of their people's cultural heritage. In a time when written records were scarce, the Druids' role as the living repositories of knowledge was invaluable. Gap 2S. However, their power was not without its darker aspects. The same Druids who could mediate peace and educate the youth were also the ones who sanctioned and oversaw the brutal rituals that marked their society. This duality of wisdom and savagery paints a complex picture of the Druids' place in Celtic life. Gap 2S. As we uncover more about these ancient figures, we begin to see how their multifaceted roles shaped not only the spiritual, but also the social and political landscapes of their time. Gap 3S. Apart from sacrifices, the Druids conducted various other rituals. They were known for their deep connection with nature and performed ceremonies to honor the changing seasons, such as the solstices and equinoxes. These rituals often involved the use of sacred groves and the veneration of natural elements like trees and stones. Gap 2S. The Druids believed that every element of nature was imbued with spiritual significance. Trees in particular were seen as sacred beings, with the mighty oak often considered the most revered. Stone circles and standing stones served as focal points for their ceremonies, acting as conduits between the earthly and the divine. Gap 2S. These natural sites were not only places of worship, but also served as communal gathering spots where people could come together to celebrate, reflect, and connect with the spiritual world. Gap 2S. By honoring the cycles of nature, the Druids reinforced their society's harmony with the environment, ensuring that the rhythms of their lives were in sync with the natural world around them. This deep ecological awareness was a cornerstone of their belief system and remains one of the most fascinating aspects of their legacy. Gap 2S. Through these rituals, the Druids sought to maintain balance and harmony, both within their communities and with the natural world, a principle that resonates even in our modern times. Gap 2S. The Roman conquest of Celtic lands brought them into direct conflict with the Druids. Roman writers like Julius Caesar documented the Druids' practices, often portraying them as barbaric and superstitious. These accounts, while biased, provide valuable insights into the Druids' role in Celtic society and their resistance to Roman rule. Gap 2S. The Druids were not only spiritual leaders, but also key figures in the resistance against Roman encroachment. Their influence extended beyond religious practices. They were seen as protectors of Celtic traditions and independence. Gap 2S. Roman efforts to suppress the Druids were intense, reflecting the threat they posed to Roman authority. Temples were destroyed, sacred groves were cut down, and Druids were hunted relentlessly. Despite this, the Druids' legacy endured, surviving through oral traditions and the resilience of the Celtic people. Gap 2S. The clash between the Druids and the Romans highlights the cultural and spiritual conflict that characterized this tumultuous period. It underscores the Druids' significant role in preserving Celtic identity and their enduring impact on history. Gap 2S. The accounts of Roman writers, although biased, offer a glimpse into the formidable presence of the Druids and their unwavering commitment to their beliefs and their people. Gap 2S. The Druidic practices had a profound impact on Celtic culture. Their rituals and beliefs influenced Celtic art, literature, and mythology. The legacy of the Druids can still be seen in modern Celtic traditions and folklore, which continue to celebrate the mystical and spiritual aspects of their ancient heritage. Gap 2S. From the intricate designs of Celtic knots to the enchanting tales of fairies and otherworldly beings, the essence of Druidic wisdom permeates through centuries. Gap 2S. Modern festivals and celebrations, such as the ancient Samhain, now known as Halloween, echo the deep-rooted customs and reverence for nature that the Druids championed. Gap 2S. Even today, the allure of the Druids captivates the imagination, inspiring contemporary artists, writers, and spiritual seekers who seek to connect with the primal forces that the Druids revered. Gap 2S. As we delve into the past, we uncover not just the history of a people, but the enduring spirit of a culture that continues to thrive in the hearts and traditions of the Celtic descendants. Gap 2S. The Druids, with their profound connection to the natural world and the mysteries of existence, remind us of a time when the spiritual and the earthly were intertwined, guiding the lives of the ancient Celts in ways that still resonate today. While the Druids are celebrated for their knowledge, their rituals remind us of the brutality that underpinned ancient Irish religion. Thanks for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Like and subscribe to Dark Era for more.